Welcome to the post-fall season sports show. I'm Drew Rubenstein here again with Fred Wyant, and Fred will pick up where we left off last time. Fall camp stories and the camaraderie that you all built. You had a lot of unique experiences at Jackson's Mill, and one in particular with the rope on top of the dining hall. What exactly happened there?
Well, it was designed like Mount Vernon, the real one,
right?
And if you pulled down on the rope and you let go of it, it would flip up on top, and somebody'd have to climb up there and get it.
So that they could be able to ring the bell. You had to do that.
Ring the bell so everybody would know. So that we were all standing around in a group.
Okay.
And Coach Lewis was around there, and I had a hold of the rope, and I pulled it down and let go of it, and it flipped up on the roof. And Coach Lewis said, what? And I went straight up to him, and I put my hand on his shoulder. I said, Coach, I didn't see who did that, but if I find out who did it, you're going to be the first one I'm going to tell. He said, I'll tell you who did it. You did it, and tomorrow you're going to owe me a lap around the airport.
So this is in the 50s. You're at Jackson's Mill. The airport is how far away from where WVU's holding fall camp?
The airport is, we worked out on the airport.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a grass airport.
Okay.
Yeah. And it isn't now, but it was at that time.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. And it was across. That's where we went across the bridge every single time, every single day to go to the.
Okay.
And
so it's the next day. Your team reports to the practice field.
Next day, and I'm thinking about, okay, now what is my strategy for the day? Because if I don't have one, I'm going to be running that lap. And I said. So I said, okay, we run sprints up, back, and then add another 50 yards to it on the bridge and go in to have breakfast. And so that's what I did, and I am racing. And I put one step on that bridge, and Coach Lewis yelled, Wyant, don't you owe me something? And I turned around and I said, yes. Well, I looked at that airport, and I looked at the end of the airport that I was going to have to run, which I hadn't done that before. And I looked and I said, that thing's 3 days away. And so off I do. Now, they've got a group on the sideline over there made up of the coaches, all ex-Navy guys. My dad, who's the foreman at the laundry and picks up the laundry and takes the other back to clean it.
Okay.
And he's over there, and so they have a camaraderie from World War II.
Sure.
That was really.
And they're probably all laughing at this point at you, I would imagine.
They were, hurt my feelings. And so they were, here I go past them, and they're all, that's it, get going. So I go around, everybody's already in, eating, and probably laying down resting. And so when the next day in the paper, Bill Evans, who was the only not service guy over there, and
reporter covering on the team.
Reporter and from Fairmont, and he was, and Bill said in the paper, he quoted in his column, in the paper, he quoted my dad as saying, we always had trouble with him growing up, which they never did. So I go over, and now everybody else is, waiting for me too, all the guys, so.
And it sounds like Coach Lewis, the coaches, the players, I mean, that kind of epitomizes the camaraderie, that the relationship that was there with the team, that they could joke around with you, and you knew it was jokes and you could give it and take it.
Right. And sometimes guys would get, they get mad, but nobody will allow them to be. Now, I don't know what it is
Hold on
today.
to it, sure.
Yeah. And of course, we had like the Quantico Marines came in there to scrimmage us, came in 5 buses with all, and it was just a sort of a festive time, but there was a lot of things that going on at the same time. We didn't spend the entire time. I mean, we had swimming, we had in the evening, and if they'd have known how tired we weren't, then they would have stuck around our cabins a little later to see what we did late at night.
Which was?
We had, as soon as Ed Shockey was out of sight, we were watching out the door, and everybody go. Somebody would signal back, "He's out of there." Okay. All of a sudden, we'd break out the tables. We had toilet paper wrapped with tape. We had brooms. We broke 32 brooms playing hockey in there. A guy got stuck in the chimney. It was a goal.
Got stuck in the chimney?
We shoved him back up in there. It was coming. And that's the way we finished every single night down there. Now, if somebody had found that out, they might have had somebody out. But we were there at 6 o'clock ready to go.
Yeah, no, that's interesting. And it seems like talking to other former players that it's those type of stories that stick out, not necessarily the stuff on the field. It's kind of the relationships, the times that you're spending together because you're going through so much with one another. And it sounds like those memories from Jackson's Mill are probably some of your fondest as a Mountaineer.
There isn't any question that they are, and and everybody, the guys we were all friends. We'd been there for a long time. We slept in a cabin, and a big cabin, but you also, if you've been there the longest, you got back in the back rooms where there were 2 beds on each side that you could work your way into.
That's neat. Fred, thanks for sharing your stories. I think people will enjoy that, and please continue to check vdpost.com for the latest on the Mountaineers and more from me and Fred. Thanks for joining us.
Okay.